What's going on, Phantom Force and Cosmogs fans alike? This is Phantom Base coming at you with our week #1 PMC Season 6 match versus Jess Kurt, coach of the Portage Herdiers. His link and everyone else's, I believe, should be in the description below. Please go check them out. And there isn't too much I really have to say about this matchup. If you watched my team builder, you will. I'm still debating whether I want to add that to the front of this, or whether I make a separate video or not. So bear with me as I decide. But yeah, so as we're looking over this team, you see he brought the Conk, he brought Bronzong, Mega Blastoise, Landers Theory, and Ninetales, and the Latios. So you'll see that we're going to take a couple notes here on this team. One, Ozumeral, which was a huge threat to my team. And it's not even here, so that's great. It lightens the load on Mega Heracross, it lightens the load on Garchomp quite a bit. And it also gives Helios some more free reign to kind of be safe more as a win condition rather than a check to an Aqua Jet spamming Ozumeral. Taking some looks at his team, I'm guessing that he's kind of more, a more bulky team, per se. His offensive on's probably being Landers and Latios, but you could also potentially bring a defensive Landers to check Mega Heracross, which is a very solid option. Conkeldurr is probably either Flame Orb or Assault Vest. There's not really many other options to go here. Flame Orb doesn't do quite as well against my team because it's so bulky. It still fails to one-shot Clefable. And if it's a Flame Orb set, Clefable almost always kills in conjunction with Salazzle, so that's not a huge issue. Bronzong is most likely a physically defensive set to check Garchomp. And see, there's probably like a lure Aqua set with like Earthquake to kill off Salazzle, because Salazzle's a huge threat to his team. Mega Blastoise I expect to be offensive because there's really not many other roles that can fit here. I guess I could see it being spit up for Salazzle, but I think it's going to be more an offensive role because the water type in general is just really good against my team. My only checks are really Ferrothorn and Quagsire, and Mega Blastoise can definitely handle both of those Pokemon by itself, pretty much. Landorus, like I said, I expect more to be a defensive set if it's not a more bulky but fly EMD set. Alolan Ninetales, I expect to be a Veil set with some sets on Mox in particular. By the way, shoutouts to my mocker friends, or my friends that help me mock. Let's go. I'm going to list them. Jacob, as always, Gypsy King, String Grace, Aaron 12, JB Westside. All you guys, thank you so much for your help with mocks. I look forward to more help in the future from you guys. Anyway, back to this. Alola Ninetales, I expect to be a Veil set with like either Blizzard or Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is questionable to me. It will one-shot Quagsire, but an offensive Ninetales will destroy Quagsire anyway. After a nasty plot, it goes in, and if I bring Unaware Quag, it gets shut down by things like Mega Blastoise and honestly Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr just goes in versus it. And also Latios can destroy it too. I expect it to have coverage for me as well. Speaking of Latios, I expect either a Calm Mind Roost 2 attack set or a Life Orb 3 attacks Roost set. It's got to have Psychic and Dragon coverage. Either it has Ice Beam instead of Dragon coverage. And then I expect either Energy Ball, or maybe HP Fire, just depending on what he fears is the more dangerous threat to him. I guess it'd have to be HP Fire to beat Ferrothorn 1v1, though Gyro Ball's gonna hurt. But as you see, we didn't bring the Parathorn. I'm going to quickly go over the team that we have on here. Like I said, check out the team builder if you want to see a more in-depth look. We have a Sash Anti-Lead Salazzle. Thanks to Jacob, as always, for that set. We originally had a Life Orb set, but like I said, we'll discuss that in the team builder more if you haven't checked it out already. Anyway, Sash Anti-Lead Salazzle, Nasty Plot 3 attack, Flamethrower, Sludge Wave, and Dragon Pulse. Dragon Pulse specifically for the Latios, because Latios is a bigger threat to me, and a +2 Flamethrower to a non-bulky Landers Therian is still going to kill. And even get to one that's decent amount of bulk, my dual stabs destroy. Ninetales, Sludge Wave, a +2 Sludge Wave still does a monstrous amount to an Assault Vest can kill, as well as especially defensive Mega Blastoise, and a non-heat proof or a non-Aqua Berry Bronzong drops to a +2 Flamethrower. And if he's going to be heat proof, he has to be super Spadef to take it. But and funny enough, if he's not invested in bring Psychic, he still can't kill me, so he has to bring Earthquake. Next, we have an Assault Vest Heliolisk, specifically meant to be a one-time switch into Mega Blastoise after rocks. Our investment with AV allows us to not be one-shot by a modest Aura Sphere after rocks, and we can kill back with a Thunderbolt after rocks, or after any decent amount of chip. Also, if we're clearly dry skin, so we can check Aqua Jet spamming his Emerald, as well as a potentially Aqua Jet spamming Mega Blastoise if he wants to run that route to try to pick off a weakened Salazzle, or any other weakened mon for that matter that's faster. Next, we have a Swords Dance Rocks Garchomp with a Darkinium Z set with Crunch and EQ, specifically meant to take advantage of switches into Bronzong that are pretty obvious to me. He would have to. I brought Darkinium Z or Fire Z because his grass type is Tangela. I knew it wasn't coming. And if it was, we have multiple checks in the back. We have HP Ice. Oh, obviously the 4 attacks I have on Heliolisk are Thunderbolts, Thunderbolt U-turn, HP Ice, and Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse specifically meant to hit Latios and Bronzong, which is why we have Darkinium Z Garchomp. Yeah, EQ just for general coverage. +2 EQ does a crap ton to everything. +1. The way I build this set is so that a +1 Darkinium Z one-shots a Bronzong. Even if it's physically defensive, he has to be Cold Berry to live. Like the minerals, like 1 of 3, so it's great. And the reason I say minus or +1 is because I expect him to use Landers as a check to Garchomp. And but I have been known to run HP Ice Garchomp in the past, so I think he might scout for that. And it's smart if he does. Like, more props to him if he does scout. But yeah. Next up, we have a physical defensive 2 attacks Fable with Wish and Protect. We specifically have Ice Beam to make sure we can kill Landers in a shot. But Moonblast is just good general coverage versus his team. We originally had Knockoff, but there wasn't really much of a point when I don't have much need to remove items this game. And the mon that is going to remove items is going to do a far better job at it. Next up, we have a very bulky Mega Heracross, an impish Mega Heracross actually, meant to check Landers Therian. We take about 25%. We're running 3 attacks and Protect, because we take about 25% from Flyneem Z behind the Protect from Adamant Landers, which is nice. We have a Bullet Seed, Pin Missile, and Brick Break, specifically to beat Veil, because while Veil's not a huge problem for our team, it is annoying to deal with. Considered running Feint, but I didn't think it was a huge. It wasn't a gamble I was willing to take this match. We have enough bulk to make sure that we can 1v1 Mega Blastoise. Modest Water Pulse is not killing us. Not even after rocks, which is nice. Or any chip for that matter. Like, we could go through 2 rounds, like essentially 2 rounds of Hail or one round of rocks. We're not dying to 2 water pulses from Modest Blast, which is great. And we one shot with Bullet Seed, or 2 shot behind Veil. But I think I'm trying to remember. It's after rocks we one shot. Lastly, we have a very def heavy Mandibuzz with enough speed to outspeed Adamant Azumarill. We have Knockoff, U-Turn, Defog, and Roost. Knockoff is to get rid of things like Expert Belt or Choice Band on, or even Citrus Berry on Azumarill. Get rid of AV Conch, get rid of any berries on Bronzong, any non-Z Crystal and Landorus, Light Clay or Leftovers, or Resist Berry on Ninetales, Life Orb, or Specs, or Scarf Latios. All those could come into play. All those are really items I need to get rid of. U-Turn is some really good initiative versus this team, particularly because his switch-ins to Mandibuzz are going to be kind of obvious. Things like Blastoise and Ninetales switching rather easily, unless he thinks I'm bringing Braveford, so Ninetales wouldn't be too easy to switch. Landorus is also switching, which is why U-Turn is so valuable, because I can take the Intimidate and U-Turn out and get out something like Helios that can one-shot it with HP Ice, or I can get into Garchomp that can kill it with Arcanium Z after that chip. Ice Beam Clefable also beats it. Non-intimidated Bullet Seed for Mega Heracross 3 hit KOs, which is great. That's if he's bulky. So anyway, that's enough about the team. We've gone far too much in depth on this. This isn't even a team builder. So, like I said, we're going to go with our Sash Anti-Lead Salazzle to start out this match. And because this is our best lead versus anything. Goodness gracious, why is that so stinking grainy? It looks so much better on my phone. Anyway, we're going to lead out with Salazzle. There it is, all of a sudden quality. As he leads with his Conkeldurr. Now, this lead was very interesting in my opinion, because I didn't really see what he would. I thought maybe he might lead Landorus, or he might lead Bronzong to get rocks up, maybe even Ninetales to pressure my Garchomp from leading. But I figured that those things I could act around accordingly to Salazzle. But this Conkeldurr lead, I was like, this is kind of especially with Azumarill being gone, this is kind of more of a good reason to. The series of plays I make in the beginning seems weird, but you'll understand why I make them here in a little bit. I identified very early that Salazzle was going to have a harder time sweeping this team or cleaning up this team. Not so much because of the speed, but because of the fact that I needed to keep my Sash intact, and he has enough priority and potential Scarfer and Landorus or Latios that won't be as easy to do. And not to mention that Hail Chip is always going to be getting rid of that Sash. So unless I can pass Wishes into it, which is going to be a lot harder to do with the team that he's brought, I think it would be safer to, or at least with the team composition he's got, I think it would be safer for me to try and get the necessary chip on this thing, just because if this thing is Assault Vest, it will not die to a +2 Sludge Wave. However, if he's not Assault Vest, he does die. And so if I can get rid of this thing, this has a much easier time getting through this team. And it's also will leave my Salazzle at a range where it will stay alive even after a knockoff into a Mach Punch. But if he has Earthquake, then obviously EQ into a Mach Punch is going to kill me. So we're going to see how this plays out. But I decided to Nasty Plot up here because that was part of the plan, just to Nasty Plot and start breaking. And see what kind of coverage he's got. Because if he had Earthquake, we would easily switch out. But he goes for a knockoff here, telling me that he does not have Earthquake. Also, this tells me he is an adamant max attack Conkeldurr. So we're going to attack here. And if he is not Assault Vest, we do straight up one-shot this thing. Also, that was the same roll for a max Spadef set, but as you'll find out later, he actually is Assault Vest. He crits us through, so it doesn't matter. But he knocks out Salazzle, but we got necessary chip on this thing. This puts it in range of Earthquake from a non-boosted Garchomp. This puts it in range even if he's Assault Vest from Moonblast from Clefable. And this puts him in range of any one attack from your Heracross, which is great. So, honestly, I could have gone into Mega Heracross here to try to put some pressure on this thing, but really that would invite in Landorus, which I didn't want. It also would invite in Ninetales. Not invited in Ninetales. Also kind of invited in Latios, really, because I'm not. Most people would think I'd go for a pin missile versus this thing, but you know, the pin missile would kill from this range. But especially because I had enough attack investment to make sure that I killed Mega Blast, max HP Mega Blastoise after rocks. So with Bullet Seed. But instead, I decided to go into Garchomp here because I found this a decent opportunity to set up my rocks. Now here, I wanted to ensure that he wouldn't kill me with an Ice Punch. So I did go for Earthquake here first, just to scout what his initial switch in was. And it is Landorus. Now, this tells me a couple things when he's going for the Intimidate drop, but I still think that means he's kind of bulky. Now, here I make a very aggressive play. I expect him to go for one of two options. I expect him to either stay in and click Super Sky Strike, because Sky Strike just destroys my team. I don't have a switch into this thing. So what I plan to do here was to get rocks up. And I wanted to kind of force him to think that I wanted him to potentially have to scout for HP Ice, because like I said, I've done it before. I think he was even in the league when I did it. But I've used HP Ice Garchomp as a way to check Landorus. However, this is not the case this week. But what I was going to do here, I had a couple options. I could Swords Dance up here and then strategically pressure him. He would be forced out at that point. And I expected if he's going to have any setup moves, it's going to be Swords Dance. So I at least wanted to make sure that I got my rocks up first. Then I could force him to either attack at this point, or if he's a bulky laner and has defog, I would force him to defog at a later point. But on the off chance that he was a setup set, I wanted to at least get my rocks up. Then I plan to pop my Z move at some other point, just to kind of get damage on this thing. I can worry about Bronzong with other things like Mana Buzz, things like Mega Heracross, things like even Helios could have an easier time dealing with Bronzong. But that's beside the point. Essentially, I made a really aggressive play here. I expected him to do one of two things. I expected him to either set up or to switch, actually, because I wanted him to scout for the HP. I think he's going to scout for the HP Ice. I expected him to, if he Scarfed, he's going to U-turn here to scout for the HP Ice. If he is, because that's his play to either make sure that I'm not Scarfed. Because if I'm locked in an Earthquake, I'm going to switch here, and a U-turn is going to get him into a really good position. The other option is he makes a double, and if he's going to double, he's going to double into Bronzong. Because doubling into Bronzong as well as clicking U-turn both help check the HP Ice play, as well as potentially cover me being Scarfed and me staying in and going for Earthquake as well. Trying to catch him on a double. And so on that note, I decided to go for rocks. And as you can see here, he makes a double out, and he goes into his Bronzong here, which makes perfect sense because he goes this thing to check the two options I have. But I did go for rocks here, and that puts me in a really good position here, because now his Ninetales is hindered every time it comes in. Now here I expect a couple things from this thing. I expect either rocks to come out, which is really good for me because this gives me opportunity to do what Garchomp does best, and we'll see here in a second. But here I anticipate him to go for rocks, and the reason for that is because it hinders Mana Buzz. It starts putting my Heracross on a timer, so to speak. It helps him scout for Magic Guard with Clayable, and it does a decent annoying number to Helios to where it starts becoming less and less of a check to things. But the other option he has is to go for Toxic, and that's to try to catch, I think that was more to try to catch things like Mana Buzz coming in. And because Mana Buzz is such an obvious switch, I decided that I want to try and take out this Bronzong right now. So I'm going to actually go for a Swords Dance. and I could live in HP Ice from this range anyway, because I am at full, so non-invested HP Ice isn't killing me. And he does go for the Toxic, so that tells me he was expecting Mandibuzz to come in, which I'm glad it didn't go to Mandibuzz. But and the better news is had I gone into my Heracross, I actually was Guts, so I could have stayed in and not Mega Evolved. Because we don't have to Mega Evolve first turn this league, at least this season. But I could have stayed in and started firing off huge attacks with the Guts boosted Heracross. That would have been dangerous. But I stayed in because I wanted to get the Swords Dance off. So here we're going to go and pop the Dark EMZ as he does decide to stay in. I expect him to stay in because I think he's going to try to set up rocks here. Because he didn't, I don't know if he thought I could do anything to him. But at this point, I mean my dual stab is covered by this thing, but I do show the Black Hole Eclipse. And that shows my last coverage move. And really that covers his entire team. Like there's nothing that switches into this Garchomp. Not safely. But as you see, the +1 Dark Eclipse does knock this out because he's not Culver Berry, he's not Sash. So, no rocks for this match unless he's got rocks on his Landers. Now here, I decided I'm going to stay in because I didn't want to catch him over-predict. I wanted to see if he was going to over-predict here with his Ninetales. This thing takes some good shit. This puts it in range of, after one more round of rocks, it puts him in range of Mega Heracross's Brick Break. That's great, but he goes for Freeze Dry, and that was his best play. I didn't want him to set up Veil because, or at least not without getting punished for it. Because if I got the Earthquake damage off, then that meant that he was going to be in range of this Brick Break that Mega Heracross is going to come in and bring out. I wanted to force him out so he was not able to go for Aurora Veil. And so he goes into Landers here, takes some nice rocks chip. It's funny, he gets the Intimidate off, and well, Brick Break to an offensive Landers, even at -1, still does like 27%, I think, or something like that. I'm not sure of the calc. I'd actually have to look it up. But as you're going to see, this Brick Break does quite negligible damage, honestly. It kind of bounces off, and you're going to see here in just a second that this is actually a leftovers Landers. So it tells me this thing was meant to check Garchomp and Mega Heracross. Now, here I have a couple options. Here I expect one of two things. Because he's a bulky Landers, that means he's not Fly. Or if he is Fly, we 100% counter this set. Because he really can't touch us. Stone Edge isn't a 2-hit KO on me unless he crits. Earthquake is doing negligible damage thanks to my bulk investment. I have a lot of bulk investment. And U-turn is doing negligible damage because, yeah. So if he has Fly as his coverage move to hit me, we just click Protect on that every time. Because this is why we text Protect, so we could chew a Fly EMZ and kind of then wall Landers from there. We can beat it down with Bullet Seed. So this Landers is not a threat to me anymore because of the fact that it's not offensive. It's not a setup set. Because he's got leftovers. If he gets a setup set, then he's probably substitute. That's why I decided I'm going to stay in here and click Bullet Seed. If he has substitute, we break his sub. If he decides to stay in and defog, then so be it. Rocks did the purpose. We got chip on the Alola Ninetales. We got chip on Landorus, and we got Bronzong dead. I just didn't want rocks on my side. And the rocks, like I said, we got one switch of Ninetales in, so that's all I really wanted out of that. Now, like I said, we're going to stay in and click Bullet Seed here. Because if he's going to go for a Fly, he's going to go for it now. And he goes for a Defog. So he gets rid of the rocks. Which is alright. But, and we click Bullet Seed, and we do a solid chunk with this thing. Because, like, you look and you'll see we're still going to do, like, quite a hefty chunk. Like, even though this is -1, we're still doing a lot of damage. We did a solid 35% with this Bullet Seed, which means we're definitely negating leftovers, and it also means we're gonna potentially kill him this next turn. Now here I decided to go into my Clefable to get the attack drop gone, and also to scout for the rest of his set. And you're gonna see here that he goes for Stone Edge. He connects, which is good. I didn't want any hacks in this game, but he does like 27, 28%, or 30% somewhere around there. So this means this thing is definitely not very offensively invested. Clefable's walling this thing essentially, unless he's got set up. And honestly, I went for Moonblast here on the off chance that he actually switched out, because Ice Beam was killing this thing from this range. I don't know why he didn't switch, but I guess he knew that Earthquake could potentially be a 2-hit KO on a max Fizz def set, but we do miss out on the kill here, which is alright. Like, I'm not sure if it was a roll or not. I didn't really calc this part during the match. At this point, I was just kind of scouting his set, his spread. So here we're going to click Protect, make sure that we get back to a better amount of HP, be out of range of this incoming Earthquake outside of a crit. Then next up, we're actually going to, I believe we're going to Wish up, because I wanted to play the Protect game a little bit to kind of get her to think that I was going to go Mandibuzz the next turn. I was trying to chip down Clefable because Clefable's a huge nuisance to his team. With Bronzong gone, there's not really much he can do to Clefable. Conk has to have me below 50% just to kill me with a Poison Jab, since he's not banded, and he's certainly not Flame Orb. So it tells me that he's practically guaranteed to be Assault Vest. So we're going to click Wish here on his U-turn, actually, which is great. So he's revealed his 4 moves, which means he has no coverage for Mega Heracross, which is great. He goes into his Ninetales, which, you know, is alright. Like, the Hail isn't a big deal. I have 2 Mons that are immune to Hail. I have no more Ice weaknesses, which is great. I have a really good switch into Ninetales from Heliolisk as well. Mandibuzz walls this thing, unless he's like Specs, which I don't think he is. We're going to click Protect here to get up to near full. And he goes for Aurora Veil, which was a really good play on his part. He got the Veil up, but I do have ways to check that. I have default Mandibuzz, I have Break, Mega Heracross, as I've shown already. And this leftovers recovery puts us back at full. Now here, I know for a fact he's going to go for Encore. However, I don't really have a switch in case he wants to be aggressive and go for a Freeze Dry or a Moonblast. So, on this note, I do decide to stay in and click Moonblast myself to get him in range of a Brick Break from Mega Heracross. On the off chance that he does decide to attack me, rather than, or let's get him closer in range of Brick Break from Mega Heracross. On the off chance he does decide to attack me rather than click Encore. However, he does make the play and click Encore, so I could have switched into Heracross there and been in really good shape to get rid of the Veil, as well as put him in range of another brick of any other attack on my team. But and non-offensive Moonblast wasn't too KOing Heracross anyway, so he withdraws and goes into his Latios, which I'm thinking, okay, Latios behind Veil is kind of scary, but we decide that we're going to click Protect here, like I said, just to see what he just see what he was going to do, because I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to attack. If he did attack, I'm just going to protect it off, get off one more turn of Veil. Now, here, I fully anticipate him to go for Psychic. One, he's not going for a Dragon move. He can't go for a Dragon move. He needs to chip down this Clefable. And a Life Orb, and if he's a Life Orb or Specs, Psychic's going to do a huge number to his Clefable. However, I am locked in Protect, so I could have, I guess, scouted for that. But that would not have been conducive to me potentially beating this Latios or showing that I can check it. However, because I knew he was going to go for a Psychic, it was the only way to really check, because I wasn't killing him from this range with Moonblast anyway. I knew that he had to go for a Psychic here to get himself back ahead of the game. Because even though he's up 5-4, I've essentially got his team on lock as to what I know his team is. So, his team's getting chipped really quickly. Conkeldur's in range of any attack on my team, outside of knockoff from Mandibuzz. But, it's in range of literally anything on my team. Clefable beats it, Mega Heracross beats it, Heliolisk beats it, unless he's got Mach Punch, which I wouldn't doubt if he does. This Latios is taking Hail Chip. And if he's got a Life Orb, it's going to take even more chip. But I wanted to put myself back in the driver's seat. And with his landers as low as it is, and with his nine tails at least 75%, we're going to switch out hard into my Mandibuzz because I'm expecting this Psychic. And as you're going to see, we do catch him on that prediction, and thankfully Overcoat Mandibuzz is a nice thing, but it doesn't matter because the hail's out. We're going to click knockoff here as he goes for Draco, and this Draco damage, as you're going to see, does right around 50% or so, or just a little bit, about 55%. So that tells me he's a timid Life Orb Latios. And we're going to click knockoff here to make sure that we live the next one. Because, well, if he crits me, no, not if he crits me, but yeah, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure that we were guaranteed to wall this thing. So he clicks Roost as I click Roost. And the bulk of it, well, that's the thing, is he took almost 50% from a knockoff behind, or he took about 40% from knockoff behind Veil. Which tells me this thing obviously has no bulk investment. But he's going to switch, and he's going to go into his Mega Blastoise, and this is where I told you that U-turn on this thing is so crucial, because this just gets me into things that really beat down this team. And you're going to see how even a bulky Mega Heracross can still tear down a team on its own, practically. You're going to see this Mega Blastoise is ready to go. He Mega Evolves. And you're going to see just how little we take from this Water Pulse. You're going to see this Water Pulse comes out, and this tells me he's a modest Blastoise. But we take very little from that. Enough to where we're out of range of the next one unless he crits me. Now, this is a very, obviously, max HP Mega Blastoise, but this Bullet Seed is doing quite a bit of damage, even behind Veil. Like, look at this. Now, this is also the last turn of Veil, which is nice, but this thing is in range of the next Bullet Seed after Veil is gone, and thankfully Veil is gone. So he's going to have to try to kill me here. And he goes for a Water Pulse, and thankfully we do chew this hit. I click Bullet Seed again. Thankfully we didn't get confused. Really glad that we didn't have any hacks in this game that mattered. The only quote-unquote hacks was the knockoff crit. That doesn't matter. I was in range anyway. So Mega Blastoise goes down, which is a huge annoyance to our team gone. This really makes Mega Heracross's job practically done. Now here I make a questionable play, and it really doesn't come back to bite me, but I click Protect just to see what he would do. And he clicks Earthquake, so like, okay, he's not risking the Stone Edge miss here. So I could have in theory gone into my Mandibuzz, but I decided against it because I'm a Spidef Mandibuzz. I would rather not try and take a potential prediction and have him go for Earthquake or Stone Edge. So I figured it's best just to sack off Heracross here. Just kind of wanted to see what he was going to go for. And so after this, he is in range still of almost anyone attack on my team. I go into Healer this here to scare him out with HP Ice, because here's my thought process here. At this point in the game, I have a really strong shot of winning with Healer this plus Clefable. Things that I need to get rid of. I need to get rid of Conkeldurr to make sure Healers can win. I need to get rid of Landorus to make sure that Mandibuzz can always wall Latios, essentially. And I need to get rid of Ninetales because it's annoying. So here's my thought. If he's going to go into anything right now, it'll probably be Conkeldurr, because it can chew the HP Ice if he's Assault Vest. Even though he's down to like 20%, 23-ish, 20-23%. And the way that's going to go is he's going to switch in to Conkeldurr, take the HP Ice, and kill me with Mach Punch. He's got to be Iron Fist at this point, I think. So, because Mach Punch I think Mach Punch would kill anyway. But, yeah. So he's got to go to that. He's going to go for Mach Punch. His other option is to go with Latios. But Latios isn't a switch in HP Ice. Ninetales could be a play, but it's not the best switch in if I predict that for Thunderbolt. Honestly, Conk, I think, can chew almost anyone hit from a non-offensive item or non-boosting item Healer. So on this note, I actually do make the read and go for a U-turn. because I think he's going to withdraw, and he does, which is perfect for me because he does end up going to his King Kelder, which I'm very happy about because I kind of expected him to think he was going to live the HPIs, and he would have. Um, but this chip guaranteed puts him in range of everything on my team at this point. Like, the only thing stop that wouldn't be that way would be the knockoff Mandibuzz, and even that might kill. But he goes for the poison jab. You're telling me he's definitely a Assault Vest because he's got enough speed investment to outspeed this Clefable. And this tells me he's adamant, but we're definitely chewing that hit. Clefable is fat. When we knock out King Kelder, the one roadblock to my Heliolisk is gone. So now all that's left is to beat down Latios, and we essentially win this game. Because if he's got Earthquake Latios, that could be a problem. So here, I see him go for Psychic, and thankfully, because we knocked off his Life Orb, we're not going to die. We do click Wish here just to make sure that we're going to stay healthy. I click Wish, and you know we're about to click Protect after this comes up, because I want to make sure we're up to a decent amount of health where we can shoot 2 Psychics, or at least have a chance to. So we're going to click Protect, and at this range, or at this rate, I'm just like, okay, I want to just get rid of this thing. So I want to at least do enough damage to where I can put it in range of a knockoff from Mandibuzz as well as a because I mean this Mandibuzz always walled this thing anyway. So I figured I would click Moonblast here, and he's going to keep spamming Psychic, and that's a good play on his part because he needs to get rid of this Clefable. I do click Moonblast, and here's where this changed my course of play. I got the special attack drop. Now, after this leftovers recovery, I'm actually out of range of a -1 Psychic. But here's where this changed my course of play. Had I not lived that, or had he not got that drop, I would have gone straight to Mandibuzz and clicked, I think I actually would have clicked Knockoff. Or, I think I would have, that actually would have been a harder thing to do. But, I think if I had not got the drop, I would have gone out to Mandibuzz. But because I got this drop here, I've actually got range of Psychic for one thing. This also means that I honestly think he should roost here, because it's his best way of still checking this Clefable, even though I do more than half if you roost, and as I make a potential switch out into Mandibuzz, then he's back in the driver's seat with this Latios, and he's gonna be a huge problem. But the other thing is that I do have Dark Pulse Heliolisk, which could potentially still win me the game, because if he's not invested in bulk at all, then we're not worried about it. Because I think Dark Pulse does still to a KO. I know we have enough special attack investment. What I do is invest in the rest into special attack after I invested enough Spadef to chew a modest Aura Sphere after rocks from Mega Blastoise. But like I said, because I got the special attack drop, I am out of range of Psychic, so I'm actually just going to straight up click Moonblast here. Just to kill this thing off. I didn't want this thing around anymore. He clicks Psychic here, and thankfully, he does not get a crit, so we do live, and we're going to kill him with Moonblast. So this is the last big problem of my team. After this, Heliolisk wins this game. Because at the range Landers is in, even behind Veil, HP Ice kills. I also have Ice Beam on my Clefable in case he decides to go into that right now. He does go into his little Ninetales though, and I figured on the off chance he wants to set up Veil here, we're gonna go in and click Moonblast, try to get him in range of a couple Thunderbolts behind Veil. You just click Freeze Dry though. Go ahead and kill me. Makes sense. And here's where we go into our Heliolisk here. Now, you'll see that we actually outspeed this Ninetales. It's normally a speed tie, but he does get the Veil up, but now he's definitely in range of 2 Thunderbolts behind Veil. And even with Veil up, even with Veil up, we still took care with this thing with Thunderbolt. I'm just going to spam Thunderbolt here, because I want him to think I'm Scarfed. So I'm gonna let him sack this thing off, and as he goes for freeze dry, this kind of should give it away that I have an assault vest, but he's also, I don't think he's special attack invested. So do kill this thing off. He might think he might think I'm scarfed just because I outspeed this thing every time. But as it turns out, I think he only had enough speed for my Garchomp, and I was running max speed Heliolisk, which means that I do outspeed this every time. Now here, he goes into Landorus. Like I said, this thing is guaranteed in range of HP Ice after or behind Veil. Even if he's not, he still dies to the combination of HP Ice plus Hail. So there we go. So we finally, for the first time ever, we pick up a week 1 win in the PMC. Season 6 might be our season, guys. But anyway, oh gosh, I don't want to stop that. Anywho, we're gonna go back to this out screen. Okay, we're gonna go back to the beginning. Stop that. Anyway, so anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this first week's battle. Yeah, it's a good team. I love this draft. Hopefully you guys have seen my draft recap. And you'll see kind of why I drafted what I drafted, and hopefully you guys have watched the team builder too, so you can see why I built why I brought what I brought. And I'll go more in depth there. I know I went a lot in depth in this video, but I'll go even more in depth in the video. I know, but yeah. Once again, go check out Kurt. He's a good dude. Fellow APA buddy, and just all around solid dude and really good battler. I mean, as you see, he's definitely, he and I both have definitely improved over the years of playing Pokemon. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you next week when we face Pokemaster Mike and his Los Angeles Spark servers and that spoopy Necrozma Mega Beedrill core. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week. Bye bye.